success, as we said, success as far as our education system is concerned is if you're an engineer or a doctor, you join the IAS, IPS, or then you get into the forces. And really that's just going to be 1% of our population. Maximum 2. 90% of our population is never going to do this, right? So the whole thing is geared towards this 1 or 2% who are going to become engineers, doctors, and then poor fellows, when they don't succeed, then they are, they're depressed and they're upset that I couldn't make it. But really, it's impossible for 90% of India to become engineers and doctors, and it's not even required. I mean, it doesn't make sense. So, allowing kids to do what they want and allowing them to experience and do multiple things. Our education system disregards many things. It undervalues many professions, overvalues these 4 or 5 professions, and then tells everybody, "Bhai, yahi karna hai." So those are the type of things I would change.
What is one of the few important things that you would like to see change in the Indian higher education system?
In India, but what I remember in the classroom was there's a very clear hierarchy. That's the teacher, and we are students. And that person has a role, and we have a role. And that person is going to basically tell us what he knows. So it's very hierarchical structure, and knowledge is imparted straight down. And sometimes if the student says, I don't agree or I don't understand, the teacher will be like, "Listen, keep quiet." And if you do that too many times, he put you at the back of the class, and he'll like his 5-7 so-called, call them toppers or sidekicks or whatever, who will repeat what he says, right? The strength of the American system, which is that they will allow you to express yourself, they will allow you to engage with them, and they will broaden your vision. But where they completely fail and they're not interested at all is in the internal system. So they are very interested in what is outside you, the road, the tree, the animals, everything outside. But inside, they're zero. Literally, they don't even have a concept of it. Whereas in India, we might not be so good at the outside, but we are pretty good, especially our traditional systems are pretty good at introspection, looking inside, self-observation, right? And then we have certain basic principles here, ahimsa, truth, etc., that are very powerful but are not in our education system.
Namaste sir, my name is Aman Mota. Sir, what is your vision about the research capabilities, especially in a research institute, considering there is a cut down in research fund and increase in the research consumable and in equipment, sir?
In my view, innovation will come broadly from the act of production. The problem is that we are not actually producing. Or the innovation emerges from the act of production. Okay? So that's one problem. The second problem in India is that we don't respect labor. So we don't actually respect the act of production. We respect conceptual work. Our society doesn't respect that physical work done by hand. And so we don't fund that work done by hand. We're not actually respecting the skill, and we're not giving money to the skill. But innovation comes from the skill. Innovation doesn't come from the sky. If you start respecting the carpenter, you start respecting the cook, you start respecting the shoemaker, you start respecting the mechanic, then you will start putting money into his business. And the moment you put money into his business, you'll get innovation. So I think one of the things that I want to push is moving more into the physical production space. So to me, really innovation comes from that space. Put as much money you want in R&D. If you're not actually producing the thing, it'll just be a budget. Thank you for coming.